In this video, we'll look at some best practices for using tags in AppNeta. Tags provide context about what is being monitored with AppNeta and from where. They help admins automate monitoring and help users quickly locate and organize results. A tag is a combination of a category and a value. Some tags, such as system and location tags, are pre-configured within AppNeta. Examples of system tags include monitoring point name, monitoring point type, and monitoring policy name. Location tags are automatically assigned based on the geographic location of the source monitoring point or the monitored target. Custom tags are user-created tags that provide additional context specific to their organization. Custom tags can be applied to monitoring points, monitoring policies, or individual paths. Admins should assign custom tags to monitoring points to provide context about where the monitoring point is deployed, such as information about the location, environment, or users. When creating monitoring policies, admins can assign custom tags to the entire policy to provide additional context about the application or network being monitored by the policy. Network and web paths automatically inherit their source monitoring point and monitoring policy tags, but users can also add custom tags to individual paths as needed. Typically, path tags are useful for providing context to a subset of paths. When planning an approach to custom tags, remember to keep it simple. It's easy to get carried away assigning tags. But more tag categories mean more maintenance and a higher chance of redundancy and overlap across categories. Generally, when planning how to monitor with AppNeta, divide your monitoring into a few large groups of locations that should monitor a target. Consider the simplest characteristics to define each group of locations. Then consider whether existing system-defined tags will be sufficient to select the appropriate monitoring points, or if a custom tag category is needed. A simple approach to tagging will help ensure your monitoring is easy to maintain, even for a large-scale deployment. Each AppNeta organization can have up to 64 user-defined tag categories, and any individual item in AppNeta can be assigned up to 32 user-defined tags. But keep in mind that a simple approach to tagging will help ensure your monitoring is easy to maintain, even for a large-scale deployment. Let's take a look at a few common use cases for tags. Admins can easily automate the monitoring of relevant applications and networks using monitoring point tags. Custom tags can be created to represent business units, departments, or specific teams. The tags can then be used in a monitoring policy to automatically monitor applications used by members of those groups. In this example, each monitoring point installed on an employee workstation is tagged with the department name the workstation belongs to. A monitoring policy is configured to monitor a particular application only from the workstations that rely on that application. Anytime this department tag is assigned to a new monitoring point, the monitoring point will automatically start monitoring this application. The admin could also add a network rule for connection type equals wired if they only want workstations to monitor the application over a wired network connection. If monitoring points are deployed consistently at sites with multiple egress networks, admins can easily plan monitoring policies with network rules to monitor a target over specific egress networks, and assign custom tags to network rules within the policy to provide end users with meaningful context about the egress network. The policy for this plan would look something like this, with rules for each egress network. Some organizations use custom tags to assist with triage and prioritization. For example, a custom monitoring policy tag could differentiate between monitored targets where performance issues would have a higher impact on the organization. This tag could then be used to filter results for high criticality targets. In another example, monitoring points installed on workstations could be tagged as belonging to executives or another critical user cohort. A dashboard could be filtered to show performance issues over time detected from workstations belonging to executives. And since tags are included with notifications about events, custom tags can be used to help prioritize triage appropriately. A common use case for tags is to locate results for a specific monitored application. We can filter by application using system-defined tags, such as the monitoring policy name or the target domain name or IP address. In this example, I've filtered a dashboard to include results for one application using the monitoring policy tag. This allows us to look at the performance of only one application. And in this next example, I've grouped my path list based on the monitoring policy name to quickly identify all the different applications currently being monitored and the number of paths. This view presents a summary of monitoring statuses from each application. Another common use case for tags is comparing performance by location. AppNeta automatically creates tags based on the geographic location of the source monitoring point and the target being monitored. Filtering for an application of interest and then grouping results by location provides a summary of monitoring status for the application from each geographic area. This view is helpful to determine if an issue is widespread or limited to a specific region. In this example, we can see that the target meets performance expectations from all regions but one, implying the issue lies with shared infrastructure across locations in this region. AppNeta uses the United Nations standard names for geographical regions. Some organizations might prefer to categorize regions differently, such as using acronyms for continental zones. In this case, we could use a custom tag to categorize monitoring points with terminology specifically used at the organization. While individual paths inherit their source monitoring point and policy tags, custom path tags can be useful to provide an additional level of categorization. In this example, prior to conducting network maintenance, I could temporarily apply a custom tag to all paths that will be impacted by the maintenance activity. I can filter the path list using my custom tag. Then keep an eye on the path statuses before and after maintenance to make sure performance wasn't negatively impacted by the maintenance activities. Tags can be created within the AppNeta UI and assigned to monitoring points, a monitoring policy, or a selection of individual paths. Tags can also be created and managed using the API. To learn more about how to create custom tags in AppNeta, check out our video tutorials for monitoring point tags, policy tags, and path tags.